In a game like Raid Shadow Legends, where legendaries rule everywhere, but there are some very few rare champions and even epic champions who can stand shoulder to shoulder and be compared with these legendaries in terms of damage. The champion featured in today's champion showcase or champion guide is one of such epic champions, and he is known for the undead faction as Husk. Now, this is a champion that you will appreciate whether you're new to Raid, just coming into the game right now, or whether you're end game 3 years, 4 years playing. You'll still be able to use this champion in your teams. So determine where you are in the game will be determined by how you're going to build this champion and use him. So what do we know about this champion? He's known as a HP based champion. Husk is the name, and he's totally worth taking to 60, totally worth putting all your epic books into. Yes, do not put legendary skill tomes on epic champions. And he's best known for this A2 skill right here. This is this damage dealing ability. So what makes him so special, even better than a legendary in dealing damage, is because against bosses, these champions or champions with enemy max HP, like you see right there, do so much damage against bosses, because this damage is not based on his HP, his attack, or his defense. No, it is based on the boss's max HP. So this damage will do a percentage of the boss HP based on how you build this champion, crit rate, crit damage, and all that stuff. So put damage, pure damage into this champion, and he will deal damage based on the boss HP. So if you build him very poorly, he might do 2% damage of the boss HP. If you build him very hard, he might do up to 10% of the boss HP. It depends on where you use him. So that means he will do damage against bosses more than against wave content. How much percentage of the boss HP will he do damage to determines how you build him. So that's this skill. Is an AoE skill, which means it's perfect to be used against wave content. So when you have 4 or 5 enemies right there, you can just use this skill and nuke them down. We're gonna try it out in some content, and you see how much damage it does against wave content and against bosses. So that's not all. This skill also comes along with a stun. Yes, we have champions in Raid Shadow Legends who do AoE stun. I'll give you an example of Seal the Drake, right? But this champion can do a similar stun. AoE can stun all the allies, all the enemies, or stun one. Depends on how this stun lands. And right here, it's a 35% chance of landing the stun. That's why he cannot stun everybody all the time. So but when you put books into this skill, which is totally worth it, it becomes a 4-turn cooldown, right? And it'll be able to do a 40-60% chance to stun the enemies. That's a good chance. So that sometimes you have one person stun, sometimes you have 4 people stun in the enemy team. It's not a consistent way to stun enemies, but hey, he's doing damage, and whoever survives will be stunned. So this is an awesome skill to use against wave content. So he's not just good for bosses, he's also usable in the wave content, unlike some damage dealers who are only useful in the boss content. They just escort everybody from the wave and sometimes even die cold heart on the wave content, and finally at the boss, that's when they start showing off. So he is useful for the wave and also for the boss. This is a champion I did not get the opportunity to use him in early game because I had other options, but right now in the end game, I'm beginning to appreciate this champion more. So what else does it bring to the battle? This A3, we're just waiting for him to use that A2. People say this A3 hits hard, so you should build this champion with high amount of HP, which is a good thing. He's one of those few damage dealers that does not fall off and die with just an enemy breathing air in their direction. Cold heart. so he's one of those ones that can be tanky, just like Magna can be tanky, and they can survive these big hits that are coming in from all the enemies. So they are not squishy. They don't need a Seal the Drake or a a Putter Carry or Rector Drat to keep them alive. Their role in the battle is not a liability. Although some champions can be good at dealing damage, they are a liability if they keep dying, and they are not alive half the time to do the damage they are there for. So he is not one of those squishy champions that will keep dying. No. So that's what this A3 is telling us, that you should stack HP on this champion after you've hit the crit rate requirement, the crit damage requirement, and then maybe the speed and accuracy requirement. If you want that stun to land on that A2, yes, you will need accuracy on this champion. But if you don't care about the stun, you have somebody else doing provoke for you, you have somebody else doing stun for you, like a Seal the Drake, you can just go in with full damage on this champion and forget about accuracy. Your choice on the build. Another reason why you want to put some accuracy on this champion is because of this A1 champion that also has a provoke. Now, this is a all-round good champions. You're seeing a stun, you're seeing a provoke, and then a lot of damage, not just some. So this provoke is on a single A1. He hits 2 times, has a 20% chance of landing that provoke debuff for 1 turn. But when you put books into this A1, that provoke will not become a 40% chance of landing provoke, which is a good chance of, it's almost a 50% chance whenever he uses this A1 that he will land that provoke. I've used this champion in a battle, and most times, yes, he does land the provoke. Now against bosses, you obviously can't provoke them, except you're talking about that dragon in the Doom Tower that can be provoked. So that's not where we're hoping to use this champion, although he will work there. Another reason why you always put HP on this champion is because they put this all around him that says HP in all battles, in arena battles by 30%, which deceives you, makes you think that this champion is an arena champion. He's not. Except you're new to raid 1 month, 2 months, a year. You don't have any of those big nukers, right? He can come into the arena. That's fine. Obviously, his A3 will take down anything that is breathing on the enemy team that has decreased defense on them, no shield. He will just nuke them down. They will die because of they have some HP, right? So he's able to nuke down enemy waves in the arena. But this aura don't fool you to think this champion is a specific champion for the arena. No, just like some champions who have faction wars aura, but they are useful in everywhere. So this means that this champion will not be in a leader slot in PvE content. I feel like he's 20% arena and 80% PvE champion if I was to rate him in his performance in these 2 places. Arena 20% and PvE 80%. Why is this rating coming along? Is because most champions who have this most players who have Husk, 80% of players will use him in only PvE content. Why? Because 80% of players already have better arena nukers who do better damage in the arena or who are built for the arena, while he comes in and he's just built in his kit is just looking like he's built for PvE content, dungeons and Hydra and all that stuff. So all right, I've talked about his skill, I've hyped him up. Hopefully by now you have a little bit understanding of what this champion can do for you, and let me show you my champion, how I built him, and where I'm going to be testing him out in this content right now. So that's Husk. Glad to be using him in the end game finally, even if I did not really use this champion in my early game at all. I never built him. So I finally got masteries on him, and this is my Husk and his artifact set. That's the first thing I want to talk about right now. Which set should you use on your Husk? Don't rush and start building in this relentless set like I did. I built this champion 3 years later in the end game. I hope to use him only in end game content. Like what? Hydra. That's the #1 place I built him for. But guess what? Right now he's also working in Dragon had 10 or Spider had 10. I think Spider had 10 mode. Those are the 2 places he works right now for me in the end game. So if you're new to raid a year, few months in, don't rush and go and put relentless set on him, because you might not have the best stats on your relentless sets. Remember, for champions in Raid Shadow Legends that you're trying to build for content, you want to first make sure that the set you choose has the right stats. Let me give you an example. If you head over to speed set right now and you see speed set is giving you 200 plus speed, 220, 250 crit damage, 100% crit rate from speed set, no accuracy needed, right? You're just build for damage. Or maybe even speed set plus a little bit of crit damage set. You're mixing crit rate and crit damage set to get you that crit rate. This is all beginner content, beginner gear that I'm talking about right now. These are what beginner players should look forward to putting on their Husk if you just get him. Does it belong in lifesteal? No, this is not a champion that belongs with lifesteal. But if that's the set that gives you the right stat you're looking for, remember the stat I'm told you about first. Crit rate is important. Crit damage is the next before you even talk about to get him up to 150 speed or 200 speed. So basically this champion does need that speed boost right there. So these are the beginner sets that you can put on this champion. And let me scroll down a little bit further and begin to talk about the end game sets that you might want to put on this champion. He does not belong in regen set, no. Now for the end game content, why did I put relentless set on him? Is because this champion needs to come back to that 2 that we talked about that is on a 4-turn cooldown, right? We need it to happen again. We not need that big nukes to happen again. So that's why Relentless Set is able to allow him take numerous turns and get his A2 back in line again. So that's one set that can help a champion like this. But if you're building him for something like Spider 20, if you've started fighting Dragon and you not have good Fire Knight, I mean, you started fighting the Fire Knight and you have good Savage set, he is good for Savage set just like any other enemy max HP champion, just like Amiga, just like Cold Heart. A lot of people do build even Royal Guard in Savage set. But personally, I try to save my Savage set for my arena nukers. Although when you have excess Savage set, there's no reason why I should be saving this high amount of Savage set. I could put one set on him, and yeah, but I feel like one nuker can just come along and steal it. That's why I gave him this Relentless set, which works perfectly fine. Why Savage set? Because enemy max HP champions who ignore defense, you know, Savage set does have that ignore defense, will do even more damage. That's why Cold Heart can do up to 1 million damage, one shot Spider 20, and all those big damage that you can see Amiga is even doing is because of Savage set that ignores the enemy boss defense to do maximum damage. So personally, what I'm trying to say is Relentless set will not give you the best damage. It will give you the more turns to do your more damage. I mean, maybe I'll hit twice and get maybe 400k damage, right? Why somebody in Savage set, good Savage set, will hit once and still get 1 million damage. You see, so we are both doing similar damage, but you hit once, you get your hit big damage. I have to hit twice to get that same amount of damage. So these are the 2 best sets you can put on Husk. But if you don't have these 2 sets, like I said, you can even mix different type of sets. Savage, I mean, this what do you call it now, crit damage set is awesome for this champion, even if it does not ignore defense. I wouldn't recommend you put this set that ignores a little bit of defense Cruel, because this champion's attack does not really based on, I mean, his damage is not based on attack, except maybe his A1. So I wouldn't recommend Cruel on this champion. So those are the damage set that I will recommend. And perception, a little bit of accuracy. You can see me adding perception here because I do need the accuracy to put that provoke on one of the Hydra heads. That's why I put a little bit of accuracy for him. I did not put this accuracy on him because of dungeon content, because there is just nuking everything down, right? But because of that Hydra head that has provoke, I don't even know if this accuracy will be enough, but let me just have that small chance as a second champion who can do provoke on that Hydra head that needs to be provoked so it doesn't cleanse all the time. So instinct is an end game, but okay, I guess. So that's the set that I'll recommend for Husk. Let me show you my stats, total stats, and show you a little bit of what I was focusing on this champion. Is crit rate right there, crit rate, speed, crit damage, crit rate, speed, a little bit of HP, crit damage glove is important, and crit rate, a little bit of more accuracy. Defense, I thought because it had crit rate, I guess. Crit rates, I would have preferred a HP chest instead of this, because he doesn't need attack chest like most damage dealers will need. That's why I gave him just any set that has crit rate. And then of course speed on the boots. For the banner, you normally expect to see accuracy right here, but it doesn't need accuracy. Champions that don't need accuracy, will see attack percentage right there. I mean attack flat on the banner. He doesn't need attack on to do his big nukes. That's why I put HP on him that has that triple speed roll. And of course crit damage, amulet, a little bit of HP and accuracy, and then more HP. So all this HP, I'm thinking of his survivability, because so he wouldn't be too squishy for my Hydra. He won't be a liability. That's why you see me stacking all this HP, because he doesn't need attack. What else are you going to do? Defense or HP? I went with HP. All right, for a total stats, what do I get from this champion? I get a total stats of almost 60k HP and 224 speed. If I can get up to 240, it would have been nice, but I was at 200 speed, but I was able to glyph things up, change some things around, and got up to 224 to help me in the new dungeon hard mode of the spider that came around. All right, crit rate a little bit overboard with 106, but 236 crit damage is not high. Yes, it's not high, because normally if you see people building their Husk like this, they'll see champion building with 250 and above crit damage for end game content. So if you can achieve 200, if you're new to raid, you can achieve 180, you're good to go. Don't stress too much. But once you are able to get above 200, 250 is the end game content, or even 300 crit damage on a Husk is crazy. He will do so much damage. Those are for players who are building for maybe Hydra on the nightmare version of the Hydra. He deals so much damage. So if you can build him with such stats and still keep him alive. But I wasn't trying to, steal gear from my ninja and others to put on him. No, I just used the relentless set that I had. That's why he's on this amount of crit damage. A little bit of resistance for the Hydra, I guess, and then 225 accuracy still for the Hydra. Still not enough, but at least that will work for maybe Hydra Hard, but I don't think that will be enough for Brutal. I do have a champion boosting accuracy, Lady Kimi, so maybe that can even boost his accuracy to be able to land that provoke, but that's not why he was there. All right, that's his skill. For masteries, for blessings, which is important for this champion, I'm looking for blessings that will ignore some defense, because I did not have savage set on him, right? So this blessing right here is able to ignore a percentage of the target's defense. So right there, so when I have it to higher ascension levels, it will ignore up to 10%, right? Will ignore 1% defense for every 10 levels, so it can ignore a high amount of 20, maybe 20 or 30%, depends on how many levels the boss is, I guess. But that's what I'm hoping to get. But this is not the only blessing you can get on him. I think the best blessing that I see being recommended by most content creators is cruelty, because even at level 1 you can ignore up to 20% of, well, up to 5% of the boss damage. So if you get this up to level 6, you'll be ignoring up to 20% of a boss damage, which is where you want to get to eventually. So cruelty or crushing rend, whichever one you want to benefit from, check it out, because you're not benefiting from HP, defense or attack, so it's not that important. For masteries, you want this champion going toward damage masteries. I'm building this champion for the Hydra, so I went towards this War Master. But for players who are building for spider content or for dungeon content, will probably want to get more what do you call this one now? No, not this one. This more flawless execution, that is more crit damage, to boost that 230 you see, to boost me up to 250. That's for dungeon content. But against the Hydra heads, I feel like War Master deals more damage than going to get more crit damage. So it's your choice, whichever way you want to go. Either War Master or more crit damage is still okay, but I feel like this is more towards dungeon content, and why this is more towards Hydra content. So for support tree, he doesn't really need, if you want to build in higher accuracy, maybe you want to go that route, but he doesn't do any buffs, or he doesn't extend any debuffs. It's not going to extend that provoke, so that's why I didn't go towards the support route. Instead, I went with this ability to counter attack when those Hydra heads hit him, right, or hit allies or places or their fear or whatever. He can counter attack with his A1 and maybe do some more damage with this War Master. So he's built pure damage right here, like a clan boss champion sort of, but because that's the Hydra is sort of like the clan boss, right? So that's where I built him for. So let's head over into some content and battle and see how much damage my Husk can do. I've already tried a sample run in Dragon 20, which is just a short one. I'm not gonna run it to the end. I just want to see which kind of numbers it can bring. Like I said, it doesn't belong in the leader slot at all. Yeah, but I guess let me just leave him there for now. But it doesn't belong in the leader slot. It adds no aura to this team. So I put together a little bit of a beginner team, and I needed decrease defense and weaken to see the maximum numbers. But if you have only what's her name, a decrease defense champion like War Maiden, it's fine, Tyrell, and all that. So I just wanted to use him to see how much maximum damage he can bring to this team. And this is the big skill right here, the A3, the A2. Let's slow it down and see the damage numbers that Husk can do with his A2 on a team that has decrease defense and weaken. I didn't 37k also. I didn't really take a good look at it. Let me just go to the second wave and see. And also we're gonna see what kind of content, what kind of damage he does on the boss. So I guess we'll have to run this one all the way to the end. Let me see him use his A3. Extra turn right there. That's his A1. He does, like, he landed that provoke. I think he already used his A3. Ooh, I just wasted my decrease defense and weaken. Not nice. I guess I could reset my skill when I get to the next turn. Another extra turn. So that's why the Relentless set is good. It allows him to get back to that A2 really, really quick. I did bring this champion along to reset my skill, but I guess I didn't use it yet. Renegade. Let me not do my damage yet this time around. Let me just provoke. That A1 does land the provoke. Let me reset my ally skill. Now I have my decrease defense up. Slow it down so we can see the damage again. I didn't really take a good look at the damage. I think I saw 37. That's not enough to nuke. Now, if I had Savage set now, if it was Savage set and you still do 37, they're definitely dead because you ignore more defense. All right, let me go again and this time take a look at it. 29, 37. Yes, I think I did see 37 as one of the highest right there. 29,000, 39 and all that. So doing that type of damage to an entire wave, it's crazy. So like I said, I'm not ignoring defense. That's why I'm not taking them down in one hit. All right, let's head over to the boss and see what kind of damage my Husk can do over there. Built with moderate gear, not crazy amount of gear. It almost seems like my Atel is even doing more damage than he is. All right, decrease defense and weaken is out there. Let me slow it down and see if Husk is ready to do his A. That's 15k, and that's the big hit. 489k, almost 500k damage on a Husk that is all just 238 crit damage. Like I said, if you can get him up to 250, get him up to 300 crit damage, he will even do crazy 1 million damage against this boss. Now if you head over to Dragon 25, Spider 25, those higher content, you cannot do high amount of damage like this to that boss because there's a cap 10% on the amount of damage you can do to those bosses from 21 to 25. So take note of that. I think it also applies to hard mode dungeons, hard mode 10 also. See him taking 2 turns right now. It means now his big nuke is up again. That's what Relentless set allows him to do, to make sure that he takes numerous turns and get back to his nuking ability really, really quick. And of course, with the help of my Renegade, 524. You see how the HP of the boss just shifts. Now, I know some people can build this champion and just nuke this boss down in 1 or 2 hits. But I'm building more of a realistic build without stealing my best gear from every champion to showcase the Husk. No. This is how I'm going to be using him in my account. So I'm not trying to build him with stolen gear and then put back the gear later. No, I just want that extra chances to get my turns going again and again, and I'm not gonna put him in Savage set. But if you can have good Savage set for him, like I said, it will do crazy amount of damage. Let me know in the comments how much damage you can come up with it in your Husk. Now I have one more content to show you as an end game content. I can't show you a Hydra run because I already used my 3 key for the week and Hydra has not reset. I've used it. I'm getting him ready for my next Hydra team. So the next content I wanted to show you, this champion is not in Fire Knight. He doesn't belong in Fire Knight. Is in the Spider, right? Spider had 10 mode. So if I head over to the level 20, I recently did a dedicated video about this team, how I build them and all that. So if you want to check it out, there's a play. It's not a playlist. Just type the Spider 20. You see all these champion stats and everything. But he is one of the damage dealers right here. Just like Royal Guard, Husk will help me take down the spiderlings fast for us to end this. So it's a very, very fast spider run. So I've shown you such as a beginner use of this champion. Now I'm showing you sort of an totally end game use of this champion. And unfortunately I can't show you the Hydra run, but hey, I'll do a dedicated video about my Hydra team when he joins that team soon. All right, decrease defense and weaken is out there. Check out the first damage from who? Husk. 1.4 million damage. 1.4 million also from Royal Guard. So that's what they are doing right here. The higher the HP of the boss, the more damage these champions can do. Who do damage based on enemies max HP. We're about to do it all over again and end it. I think Husk will end it instead of Royal Guard. Let's see who ends this battle. Oh, That's Royal Guard will end it with 1.4 also. So that's the fast run for the spider. This champion can be used, like I said, in early game content. If you're trying to beat Dragon 20, 19, 18, even 15, build your Husk and let him do damage in the wave and also against the boss. He needs crit rate, crit damage, no attack, no defense, and yeah, not much required for accuracy, but to control the waves he does need accuracy. Let me know in the comments what you think about this Husk guide. Did I miss out on anything? I didn't want to show him out in other content besides just this raw content he can do damage for. I don't want to show him this champion in the arena, not in campaign, nothing like that. I just wanted to show him the best place to use him, and that is the Hydra and Dungeon wave content, and also the boss. Alright guys, hit that like for me in this video if it helps you out build your Husk and give you a better idea of how to use this champion. Remember, I post Raid Shadowlands content on a daily basis. Like and subscribe for more content. Later guys.